This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Increased community supports and community input.
Those just a few of the action items in Portland Public Schools' proposed budget. But the big debate is school resource officers. Coming up this morning, why the district is opting not to bring them back.
And today, TriMet will be voting on a proposed rate increase. We hear from riders on the potential impact of that change coming up.
And this morning, we're also giving you a live look from Multnomah Falls. Yes, a beautiful live look at the falls. Eric Patterson made the drive out there this morning for us, our Sunrise photographer behind the camera. Of course, this weekend starts the new permit situation out there at the falls. So we'll explain when exactly you'll need it and how exactly you can get it coming up a little bit later in our show.
You're calling it a situation.
A situation.
It's a new situation to access the falls. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's really coming down.
Yeah.
Lots of water.
Well, it's that time of the year,
It is.
that time of the year, my dear. I was trying to say it, so I didn't realize it was a nursery rhyme. Here's a look at the Wells Fargo camera. We have low clouds. We have sunshine up top, or blue sky anyway. The sun pops up at about 30 minutes, at 5:31. The low cloudiness may be increasing in the coming hours, but generally speaking, this should go on a day that has sunshine, and it's day one of some warming temperatures coming our way. 52 out there right now. Here's your planner. Haven't been in the 70s for a while. We should do it today, 65 at noon, forecasting mostly sunny, and 74 later today. So that's right in the sweet spot for lots of folks. Hope you have a good day. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Rod. Discussions on how to fund Portland Public Schools lasted more than 5 hours last night, and it finally ended just after 2 o'clock this morning. The school board approved the proposed $2.18 billion budget, but final approval is not expected to happen until next month.
So, a lot of teachers and students and parents showed up. They actually had to postpone the start of that meeting. Most of those in the crowd were with the teachers union, and they pushed for investments in educators and staff, as well as student services.
I believe that together we can build great public schools. Schools that serve all of our students, every single student, the school that our students deserve. But in order to do that, we need PPS management and the school board to direct more funds towards everything we've called out in our bargaining proposals. Increase mental health and special education supports at every site, increase community supports and community input, attractive educator wages, and class size and caseload caps.
Several students showed up wearing badges that said "No Cops in Schools," and that is because part of the budget covers 13 safety recommendations the district released earlier this month. They include requiring ID badges for students, starting a rapid response system among staff, and partnering with Portland Police to bring officers near schools. Jonathan Garcia, chief of staff for the district, says police would not be inside schools.
We don't want hallway monitors with guns. However, there's a sense of what is the positive relationship that we need to have with law enforcement. We don't have a title. What we know is that we want law enforcement in our community patrolling and providing that level of safety.
Republicans and Democrats have each come up with separate plans to put a record amount of money into the state school fund. But right now, a GOP-led walkout has stalled all work in the Senate. The next PPS board meeting will be coming up on June 15th.
We did get an update on the Senate walkout yesterday. Republican senators said they don't plan on returning to work until the last day of the session, which is just about a month from now, on June 25th. And they'll only return to pass what they described as substantially bipartisan budgets and bills. So what's not clear is how Republicans plan to force the Democratic-ruled Senate to only vote on the bills that Republicans like or view as bipartisan. Senate President, Democrat Rob Wagner, said last week that he will not let Republicans return with 12 hours left in the session and determine the bills and budgets that they want to vote on.
In just a few hours, the TriMet Board of Directors will vote on whether or not to increase fares. If it passes, TriMet says it would be the first increase since 2012. Devin Haskins joins us now this morning for more on this. And Devin, you spoke with some riders.
Yeah, I don't think it should come as a surprise that people don't want to pay more money for something, even if it's only 30 cents more one way. But if you take that bus or a Max Line daily, that increase would obviously add up. So out on the Transit Mall at Pioneer Courthouse Square, out-of-town visitors told me the fares in Portland are cheaper than those where they live. Those that live here and take it regularly told me, though, any increase would mean more money out of their pocket. TriMet first approached the idea of raising the price of a fare in the fiscal year of 2022, but held out until this fiscal year. So how much are prices projected to increase? Well, for a one-way ticket, it'd be 30 cents, double that amount for an all-day trip. Monthly and annual passes, though, would not increase. TriMet says the increase would be the first one since 2012 and is needed for operational costs and to offset inflation. Those reasons weren't good enough for those I spoke with.
I think that keeping, affordable things like public transportation as accessible as possible should be the priority.
I personally believe that we should invest in public transit enough that it should be free for all.
I understand that prices go up, inflation is a thing, the economy changing is a thing, but at the same time, I feel like there could be other ways they could get their money as well. There's more avenues they could have explored.
All right, so if the board votes to increase fares, they wouldn't take effect until 2024. That meeting starts at 9 o'clock this morning. There will be a public comment period followed by a vote, and you can watch it as TriMet's YouTube page is where they'll be streaming it. Drew?
All right, Devin, we appreciate that update this morning. We also have an update about the Southwest Portland apartment building that went up in flames last week. It turns out firefighters responded to that building more than 24 times in just the last 6 months. According to records obtained by KGW, in half of those cases, someone intentionally pulled the fire alarm. A crew went into the room that they think is where the fire started. This crew went in yesterday, but there are still no details on what may have started this fire. An arson detecting K9 we know was part of yesterday's effort.
So this is an unreinforced masonry building with a wooden facade and some brick facade on the outside of that. So it's a convoluted sort of structure that has been significantly damaged by the fire and water. So absolutely we're taking this as seriously as it needs to be, and there's a significant threat, absolutely.
At this point, the owners of the building have 30 days to decide if they'll rebuild or simply tear the building down.
We also want to give you a quick reminder, if you know of a story that you think we should be telling or a person we should be profiling, you can text us or you can call us at the number right there on your screen, 503-226-5088.
Okay, if you guys are regular viewers, you know how much we love to tease Rod. In just a second, we're going to replay a blooper when a recent thunderstorm startled him. But first, look what scared a meteorologist in Florida.
At least mix of sun and fair weather clouds. Whoa! Oh my gosh, the bird startled me. There we go. We have a nice seagull there.
I did laugh.
So yeah, I mean, it was actually a pigeon, but she was flustered. Producer Maddie just told me we don't have the clip from Rod and the thunderstorm, but do you remember that? It was a viewer sound and it went boom and you went.
I don't remember being startled at all.
Yes, you
were.
I
don't remember any of this.
Cool as a cucumber.
No, it was right out of it was the first thing that came on
out
of the story. So my first job, a place called KGW TV in Victoria, Texas, South Texas. We had a bat that somehow got into the building. So this wasn't outdoors. This would be like if there were a bat flying around in our studio right now. Well, it took them all week to capture.
I was going to say, that wasn't a quick fix.
So all week you would be doing the weather and you'd see out the corner of your eye. The bat just flew by.
No, that gives me the willies.
Here's a look at a pretty quiet day coming up. Yesterday, for the most part, the shower and thunderstorm pattern shifted east of our area out here to Nevada and Wyoming and Montana, and that's still where it is right now. So we are all quiet, all dry. Once again, southeastern Oregon, generally near but to outside of Burns, has a chance of maybe some of that action leaking in toward you. Otherwise, should be dry at the coast, dry over the Cascades. Really quiet day. Here's that Wells Fargo view showing some Blue sky up top, low clouds on the horizon. We're at 52 degrees. Generally, we're not as cool as we were 24 hours ago, but with that said, Newport's at 39, and Kelso and Astoria are in the mid-40s, so there are some cool spots here on the west side. 8 o'clock this morning, Futurecast just shows basically a lot of sunshine and dry weather across our two states. Notice the convective activity. This is not today, but tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we start getting into some scattered showers near the Cascades and off to the east again, but not expecting any of that today. So here we go. Some morning cloudiness and then sunshine coming, including the beach, where temperatures should at least get up into the 60s. Winds will be light today. Out in the gorge, we had some breezy west winds yesterday. Not expecting that today. And here in the valley, McMinnville 77. Now, we've been in the 60s the last 3 days, so you'll notice, hey, today's a little bit warmer and pretty much in that sweet spot for many folks. 74 in Battleground and Vancouver, 70 degrees up along you where there's a better chance of morning clouds being a little more dominant to start your day. 7-day forecast, I've removed all rain chances except for one on Sunday that may or may not develop. So overall, your Memorial Day weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, temperatures of 70 and better, and looks pretty nice. And that is your forecast for now.